Hey, Rebecca Foote here, your mortgage queen. I wanted to come on and talk to you today about what's going on in the market and the trauma that we're seeing and how there is solutions in the trauma. We have these gosh darn things called interest rates, right? And they're moving in the wrong direction. If you take a look at this chart, you'll see these two arrows here showing you that basically for the past almost month, we have been moving in the wrong direction with interest rates. When you see them going down in the chart, that means interest rates are actually going up. I feel like I'm an ER doc sometimes just trying to deal with all the trauma that comes along with these high interest rates because people they don't understand it. It is an elephant in the room, and you just need to get it out of the way right up front when you talk to the client, because it's there, it's going to be there, and you just need to hit it head on and discuss it with the client, and then that gets you over some of that trauma. But we're looking at other traumas like affordability issues that come from these higher interest rates. We have sellers, existing homeowners that don't really want to sell because they're locked into 2 and 3 and 4% interest rates, and they don't want to resell to get a 7. I hear some people are quoting 8% interest rates already. So they don't want to sell. You have builders out there who, number one, can't build fast enough. They can't get the product in at the time they need it to build, and they have the labor issues. And then there's some areas of the US where the builders have built, but they can't sell them because typically a new build costs more than an existing home. You have your first time home buyers who want to buy a house out there, but their federal student loans have just restarted. They feel that they can't afford it now that they got the student loan payments back and trying to buy a house right now. And then we have this low inventory, and it's low because existing homeowners don't want to sell, and because we are 5.5 million households behind in the US. We literally have no inventory for the demand that's out there, and that's what's causing the low inventory, and it will keep home values up. And, a lot of this goes back to the Federal Reserve. We have Jerome Powell, who is absolutely committed to getting inflation down to a 2% rate, no matter what happens to the economy, to the housing market. And it's unfortunately hurting some of our issues and making them worse. But there is solutions. We can adapt to where we are right now, put some things in place to help our buyers and our sellers now and in the future. I have access to a lot of charts and graphs, and I can help you explain stuff to sellers and to buyers to make them create more opportunity for you and for them. So some of the solutions are, sellers right now, they're locked into these low interest rates, like we said, but they also have a lot of debt. Credit card debt is over $1 trillion in the US now. We hit that back in August. So you have a seller that might be locked into a 2 or 3%, but they're paying 20, 25% on these credit cards. And then they also have home equity loans attached to their house, which have also gone up in interest rate because of the federal funds raising. So they have all this debt. So it doesn't really matter what they're paying on their mortgage because they have all this other debt that is wiping out any gain from that low interest rate. The good thing for sellers is they have historic equity in their home. So we can use that equity. So if they want to sell their home and buy something else, we can use that equity to pay off some of this debt, put them in a better financial state, and help them get into their new home. Or if they want to stay in their home, we can still use that equity to do a refinance. And I will tell you 9 times out of 10, even though their rate's going up on their mortgage, it makes a lot of sense, both now and long-term, for them to save money. Then on buyer's side, there's a lot of buyer's concessions going on, and we want to make it worthwhile. We want to try to help the buyer and the seller. I say try, it's not try. We are going to help the buyer and the seller. I see you guys doing price drops on your listings, and I think to myself every time, why in the world are they doing that? That's not the way to market this house. Don't do price drops on your listings. The better way is to work with somebody like us where we can show your seller things that they can do to market that listing that will actually leave them with more money in their pocket than taking $10,000 off the price or $15,000 off the price, whatever it is you end up doing. So let us work with you to create that opportunity to help that seller sell their house, yield more money from the sale, and help a buyer in the process. So I want to create more opportunity for you. And then you know what? Yes, 12 to 24 months from now, those buyers are likely going to be refinancing for a lower interest rate. And if they can, that's great. Let's get them into a house now while there's not as much demand, and then they can refi down the road. But it's important to make sure that buyer is aware that we don't know what's going to happen, right? Interest rates could be 20% in 24 months. We don't know. So we want to make sure that we are educating everybody along the way. You know, having the right partners is what's going to make it you. It's going to make or break you. I want you to have a wonderful Q4, and I want to set you up right for 2024. So partnering with the right lender to do that is going to make or break you, and I am that partner. So reach out to me. Let's schedule some time so I can show you some of these solutions. It doesn't take long, 15, 20 minutes. We can show you these solutions and set you up right for 2024.